You're listening to Buy My Merch, a Heads on TV podcast. My name is Marilyn. I'm a musician, and I've been working in digital marketing in the entertainment industry for a decade. I started this podcast as a way to ask artists what it really takes in the modern music industry to make it on your own. Asking questions like, how did you get through it when no one would show up to your shows? Or how did you survive financially when you were selling merch out of the trunk of your car? Welcome to the music industry conversation you've been looking for. It's me, it's Marilyn, and welcome back to the Buy My Merch podcast. We've got a really fun episode because one of my longtime LA friends is joining us. And that friend is Dree, also known by her artist name, Dree Mon. Now talk about wearing a lot of hats. Dree is a singer, a songwriter, a dancer, and a Twitch streamer. Dree has also self-produced and released several music videos that I honestly feel like are on par with what record labels put out. They're that good. But I really wanted to talk to her about Twitch because when the pandemic first hit in 2020, Dree had a really active live performance schedule that she basically had to put on pause, as we all did. And so she made a really smart decision to pivot that schedule to Twitch to start streaming the same live performances online. And nearly 3 years later now, she's got 5,000 followers. She has a really dedicated audience, and she has managed to turn this into a bit of an income driver for herself. She shares a lot of her advice for getting started on Twitch, including the kind of gear and the different setups that you're going to need. So if you're interested in that at all, I think you're going to love this episode. Dree is one of the people I've known the longest since I first started coming out to LA as a new singer-songwriter. And through all this time, I have just been so impressed by no matter what the obstacle is that's thrown at her, she just comes out swinging. I never worry that Dree won't figure out what the next step should be for her. So if you're interested in the world of streaming as a musician, especially, I think this is a great episode for you. And now I give you my conversation with Dree Mon. Everybody, I am particularly stoked out of my mind because the Dree Mon is here in the studio, aka Dree, who I've known since the 2015 Durango Expo. So what are we at? 8 years?
8 years. Wow.
I've known you for 8 years. I'm just excited to have you here.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, I want to open us talking a little bit about the Durango Songwriting Expo. So Dree and I met at that expo back in 2015, and it was like my personal first step into the industry. Actually, hadn't even really gone to LA yet. I had just done like this circuit. What do you remember at that time going to these conferences as an artist?
I just remember well, first of all, sensory overload, just overwhelming in every sense. You just want to go and you want to soak up as much information as possible, as quickly as possible. And you want to experience everything that you can experience in like a very short amount of time. Also, of course, you want to show up as, someone with something to offer and hopefully hope that it gets you somewhere, or at least gets you some feedback to know where to go next.
Any advice for artists going to these conferences like for the first time?
Just be open, take it all in, and I would just say don't have any expectations. Be easy on yourself. That is one thing I really struggle with, is being kind and easy on myself, especially being in a position of vulnerability. You can get so much enrichment from every part of it. So just be open and kind to you and the others.
Well, Dree, as I mentioned at the top, you have such a really cool background in the entertainment industry in general. I know you started in the dance world.
Yes.
What drew you into that space first?
Good question. So I was pretty young when I started dancing. I think I was like 7 when I first went to my first class. So I just had to do it. It was me. I just had to do it. But I think as time went by, I wanted to get into music, but I had no idea how to do it. So, I kind of just kept going with what I already knew. And I had been working and training in the dance world. So it just made sense to do that for as long as I did. And then finally one day I was like, okay, just take a leap and do this because time is short.
I know you ended up making a transition into music. What was that like? How did it come about?
It was crazy actually because a lot of dancers try to transition or do transition because dancing is really hard physically on your body, and maybe not everyone's gonna do it forever. So transitioning is kind of a natural thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's really difficult to transition from one to another because you have this stigma and this label that you are this already. So to convince people that you are actually this now, believe me, I swear I'm good, and especially like when I first started, I don't think I was good. Like I actually didn't sing very well yet. I don't think. I just really wanted to do it. And I was like, I can learn. It came about from my songwriting. When I was a teenager, I was writing songs and I just didn't have an outlet for that. I didn't have anywhere to share them. So I just shared them with my friends. And then finally, I said, let's just book some shows.
Just kind of gave it a try.
Yeah.
Did you, when you were thinking about that dance to music transition, were you like, it needs to be pop or it needs to be something with a ton of movement? Or were you looking for the opposite?
Good question. So, I've gone through so many phases with my music and what I enjoy listening to. And I think because dance is my first love, dance teachers and choreographers are the original Spotify playlist curators.
Yeah.
That's where I got all of my musical influences, and all my ideas were from my dance teachers. They always had like the latest song. So whether that was something slow and moving for a lyrical piece or something you could dance to for hip hop, there was an eclectic mix. So I feel like I also kind of got this very eclectic, vibe going forward. So it was a little bit tough for me to figure out in the beginning what the sound was going to be. I just wanted to try writing a bunch of different things and see what happened. And then later on, it became more dancey.
See what stuck.
Yeah.
Since you've gone into this world of music, you've also really carved a path for yourself in the streaming world. And I laugh because I think for Heads on TV, I've tried different forms of streaming and it is not easy. Not only just balancing like a huge calendar of it, but just you're in a live setting. There's people there instantly wanting to be entertained. How do you build balance of things like free time and mental health when you have to put so much into streaming?
Oh, the mental health struggle is real. And just because of all of that you just mentioned, balancing so many things, it's not really like your stream starts and ends there. The gig can be 24/7 if you allow it to be. So you really have to set boundaries. You have to go, okay, I'm going to, respond to messages during these hours, like work time, You kind of have to figure out what works for you and, your community and your respective situation, because otherwise you can get a message at like 11 p.m. that can shake you to your core and you're like, I can't sleep now, or you might keep watching a stream and thinking about it and thinking about like, oh, did I greet these people nicely? Was that comment I said off-putting? And after a while, you just let it all go. You just have to let it go. One theme that's constantly talked about amongst us streamers is the community aspect. And so because of the nature of streaming and you're going on and you are doing you and people are there for you, it's natural that they want to have a little bit more of knowledge of you and also you of them. So it kind of becomes this symbiotic thing, and sometimes, again, it's the boundaries, just making sure that, you're doing what you need to do for your mental health.
What's it been like growing a community in such a weird time on Twitch?
It's honestly, it's been life-changing. I feel so grateful all the time that this is a job that I'm doing. I do marvel at it. And growing it is not easy. Maintaining it, maybe not either, but you don't know. You just go and you do your best. You just show up. And if you show up for them, they show up for you, and them being the community and people that watch you. And you never know who's going to join and who's going to discover your stream. They say a lot of things are like right time, right place, or luck meets preparation. So I think that's the key with anything, just being there. And I noticed that the more you're there, it just grows from that.
You're almost to 5,000 followers. I did my homework, which is incredible. Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
For those unfamiliar with Twitch, I think it's a space that feels like we talked about. You got to put a lot of effort into it. You've done so much there in just 3 years. What advice might you give these musicians who are thinking, maybe I'll try Twitch?
I think everybody should have a combination of online and IRL, real life shows as musicians. I really do, because the whole thing as an artist is you're trying to grow a fan base, right? And you want fans that are going to buy your merch, and they're going to come to your shows, and they're going to host you in their house for a house concert. And when you tour, they'll come see you. So how do you meet those people? Before I joined Twitch, I had no idea. I was like, I don't know how to do that at all. And now I have viewers in all these different places and people that are interested in my life, in my originals that I didn't have before. So for that reason alone, I think that's the why. And then as far as the how, it seems daunting at first, but even when I started, there was so much online about how to do it. And now you could probably just chat GPT like some questions, but if you're not sure what questions to ask, YouTube, I mean, there's so many YouTubers that want to come up and share information.
Oh, yeah.
So they're a wealth of knowledge. So just looking through YouTube, you can find so much. And then I would also suggest going to people's streams, being at people's streams, because it's just like when you're doing the live show circuit here and you want to go to some shows, meet some musicians, be a presence. It's the same online. You have to do that same thing. And there's so many nice people that if you just tell them that you're new, they will offer help, because it's such a helpful community. So as long as you're doing it respectfully and you're supporting the space that you're in, then I think that's a great way to go about it too. I'm still using my Mackie mixer. I'm also using Universal Audio Interface.
Okay.
I love that. And I use the plugins from UA as well.
Okay.
So I have a reverb and a EQ and compression. And so
You got a live looper in there somewhere too, right?
Yes. And I have the RC Boss 300 looper, which is just so fun. I got to have it.
How are you plugging that into the interface that I then hear? Because the audio comes through so clear.
I have my interface and my mixer and my looper and my mic, and that's basically they all go together and then to the computer. But I also have a digital CalDigit hub, USB hub.
Okay.
So that'll take my Ethernet, and then I'll take just my mixer to the CalDigit. I'm like, I need to draw a diagram right now.
Were there any mistakes you made early on in your streaming that you corrected down the line?
I want to say yes. I hope so. We're always learning as we go. Definitely networking and communicating and being a part of things. I think it's easy to just think that you're there by yourself.
Yeah.
You go live, press go live, you're on camera, and you're just dealing with whoever shows up that day. But you're not alone. There's a whole group of people out there that are doing the same thing as you or want to help you. So yeah, just being more open to asking for help. I think that's something I'm getting better at.
Yeah.
But it's still really hard for me.
Like
and
opening up.
And yes, and accepting help too.
Were there Twitch streamers that came to your aid right away, or were you doing all of that solo YouTubing, ChatGPTing, probably, if it existed?
Well, what was I doing? No. So actually, yeah, there were. I did have. So one of my mods, Chris Cox, actually, he's a graphic designer on Twitch, and he's a small streamer, and he's just a super kind person. And he came into my stream, and he wanted to mod for me. And for people that don't know, it's basically being part of my Twitch team, helping with some technical things on Twitch, helping to greet people that come in, and do some of that front of the house stuff. And it was that was a pivotal moment for me, and I didn't expect that. He just offered to do it, and he's still my mod.
You want to talk a little bit about modding, actually, because I think for musicians too, that piece can be super daunting. This idea of how am I supposed to interact with people and requests, and you have all these cool bots and things set up. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so that's all really part of the fun of Twitch, and it makes it interactive as well, which is, I think, why Twitch stands apart from some of the other platforms. So when you first get on there, like I said, go to other people's streams and check out things that they have, and you can just start looking it up or clicking or asking questions and try to get a little bit of an education on the bots. Not all bots are bad, turns out. Yeah, so there's helpful bots in there that can help you with your stream. And they can help facilitate your song list as well, and your song requests if you're a musician, of course. And then as far as moderators, mods are just like, they are the backbone of the stream. And to get a mod, there you can go about it all sorts of ways. You can even ask somebody that you know in real life. Like, that's almost the best in a way. Like, if you have a friend or a family member that's watching you and they just really want to help you out, like, obviously they already know you and they know what you're like. And that's a great person to have as a mod. You might find some other mods in other streams, and you might make a connection with them. Yeah. And they might say, hey, if you ever need help with anything. That's happened to me a few times. People have just been like, hey, you're cool, if you ever need help with anything. And, we've gone about it that way.
Also, in your Twitch streams, you offer incentives for different things. Yes. How did you set up those incentives for your audience?
So it's something I'm always thinking about and growing because I want to keep it fun and fresh. I do have some staples, bringing back my dancing, so I'll do like a dance break, sometimes with different costumes, or I call them characters, stream characters. And, it's all part of your branding, really. Yeah. Like, that's something fun that I like to offer because I know that that's something special that I can do. Some people might be more technical or might do other things with their music. Like, a really fun thing that I've seen people do is change the key of a song. Yeah. Or something like that, or make a major song minor. There's so many fun ways you can twist around music. You can sing really quickly, up the tempo, or go slow motion. Like, people do all kind of fun things, but for me, I love the dance breaks. I also was getting ready one day early on in my stream, and I've always put a lot of like adornments on. I love fun colors. I love stickers, glitter. That's just me. I was in the bathroom and I was like, oh, I'm going to put some stickers on today, just why not? And I was like, oh, I should do a sticker incentive. So, if someone subscribes to the channel, I'll put a sticker on my face. I'd say don't be afraid to try it, because you never know what's going to work. And your audience and community watching might just be super delighted about whatever idea you put out there.
Can I ask if you're comfortable about making money on Twitch? Is this something that is part of your income now?
Well, yeah, it is. And I do talk about it on stream, actually. I do say, this is my job and I appreciate your support. Music is a real job, right? Yes. And I think the thing is that during the pandemic, that's how I found Twitch. But I was really shown by people how much they appreciate music and how much they appreciate you being there. Yeah. And so it's the same thing as going to a restaurant and playing, and people are tipping you when you're playing at the restaurant or the bar or the hotel. It's the same thing, but it's actually more because you really are doing more.
After 3 years now of this incredible community you've built, what has it meant to you to have them now there with you?
It means everything. Like, last night, I actually went live by accident. I was working on a song. So, I'm just out there like singing, and the screen's totally black because my camera was not set up because I didn't know. And I was just supposed to be recording in OBS. I was just supposed to be recording, and I pressed start streaming. And all of a sudden, I realized that I was live because I saw like my emotes fly across the screen. Aww. And I checked in, and I saw one of my community members there who was super sweet and super supportive. And I was like, man, I wish I could stream right now, but I really have to work on this song. So I was like, oops, and I ended the stream. But just seeing that somebody was there on an offshoot, just a random time right away, that filled my heart. I mean, it's like when you're doing a show and you're waiting in the wings and the room's filling up, and you're just like waiting for those seats to fill with like, your loved ones. That's what it feels like.
Dree has had some incredible music videos under your belt, and I want to ask you if you have any of those memories that jump out to you or music videos that were really pivotal for you, because you're doing them yourself, right?
Yeah. I basically produced the whole video. Sometimes a co-production is possible, but it's a lot. It's a lot. I have to put everything together. I have to think about what I need.
Yeah.
What's the storyline? Who do I know? And just kind of start asking around and, asking for favors and getting rejected. But again, you never know what comes of it. And some amazing things have happened just from doing that and putting yourself out there.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's kind of hard to know where to start. I was really lucky because my director that I've worked with for most of my videos, she is an old friend from dancing. And so she transitioned to, directing and cinematography and editing and stuff from dancing. What a blessing that's been, because she's just incredibly talented. So that really helped a lot. And then I kind of pulled other people that I knew from dancing as well.
Yeah.
One of my really good friends, Chemo, he's in some of my videos, and he actually has to wear a unicorn head in my Rebel Soul music video.
Which I also love that song.
And now I wear that unicorn head on my streams as Dree-tastic. It's really fun. Anyway, that's where that character started, was on that music video. And that video was definitely a pivotal moment for me, because it showed me that I could do that and how to do it.
Yeah.
And it was super scary at first. I mean, you don't really think anything's going to turn out. You don't know how it's going to turn out, but then you get to a point when you just know it's going to be okay and it's going to be good.
If someone wanted to get into the world of DIY music video making, how would you recommend some of the things they do to get started?
You have to kind of pull together whatever resources you can. Start by watching a bunch of music videos and kind of deciding like what feel and style you want. That is so important, because once you know that, then that can dictate like what kind of space you need, how many people you need, certain things about the camera shots. And then you can start pulling the people. And you're going to need, of course, someone behind the camera and someone to edit the video at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you have the ideas and the gumption for more, then you can start adding someone separate to be a cinematographer. You can add lighting people. You can rent a space. You can have a cast. The sky's really the limit, but you have to basically do the whole wish list. And then once you start getting the people and you start finding out, okay, this costs this much, we need a permit for that, or maybe it's, something much more simple, you might scale back your idea a little bit or a lot bit, but that's okay. That's part of it. And then once you have the idea refined, then you can start to, set your date and get all your outfits or whatever you need and then go for it.
What is the saying like in homemaking where you like measure twice, cut once, like spend all that time? The more, I think, especially too with budgeting, right? Like you've got to make sure you've really mapped out, planned, double planned what's going to happen.
Yes.
Before bringing it to life.
Well, people don't think about a lot of things. Like, first of all, if you're going to have a cast, like you need to feed your people.
Oh yeah, snacks are everything.
Yes, craft services. Hello.
Yeah.
When I first did my very first video, I didn't have any budget at all, and I had to fundraise for the entire thing. Mm-hmm. So I did work with somebody that produced it with me, who helped me figure a lot of this out.
So would you say that like, if you did have a budget to have someone develop it with you, is a producer a good starting spot?
I think it's great, but it all depends on how confident you are with the process and your vision too, because you might want some brainstorming on the vision. There might be things that you didn't think about. So yeah, I definitely do. But a lot of directors take on that role too.
Yeah.
So, that there's that as well.
I wanted to talk to you a little bit about social media, because I think your Twitch stream definitely speaks volumes for how creative you are in the digital space. How have you transitioned your music and your content to spaces like TikTok?
Yeah, I've definitely been trying different things. I've been clipping things from my Twitch streams, like little clips from my Twitch streams. I've been posting those on different social medias, and just trying to see how it goes. I think the general posting does help, though. It really does. It tells people, oh, you're here now and you're doing this, and look how much fun it is. And then, people do appreciate that.
Yeah.
And especially the people that do come to the Twitch streams already, I feel like you're kind of sharing a moment that they know about. You're kind of giving them something to be like, oh, I was there. I loved when that happened, which is so fun. Social media has kind of been one of those things that it's like this thing that I have to do but don't really want to do it. Can I say that?
Of course, just about every artist has. It's honest. It's the truth.
Yeah.
With that being the case, do you build in a calendar? Do you sort of free flow post?
I've been free float posting, and I feel like that's just an honest way to do it.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that I doing this live streaming, because that's social media too.
Yep.
And it's something that luckily was a little bit easier for me personally. And everybody has their different areas where they shine. So I think it all kind of informs the rest. You can reuse a lot of your Twitch content on TikTok, Instagram Reels, and it looks like something fresh that makes it a little bit easier instead of coming up with so many ideas, so many different things for every platform.
Yeah, it's refreshing hearing you say that, because I think it's important to remember, like, the thing that you've been known for and you've grown on Twitch, like, YouTube doesn't know you for that yet. And it's not like cheating, really. It's smart repurposing. And I always say to artists, like, you don't have to fear that as a strategy. You should protect your time. And if you feel that on a certain week you kind of want to do more reposts or repurposes, I think it's actually part of a smart strategy, really.
I mean, I think a little bit of both, right? Sometimes I'll do different lengths, like I'll just do different clip lengths for different things, or show different sections of like the same kind of scene that happened, just to make it a little bit different, or variety. But yeah, I've definitely been doing a little bit more lifestyle posts on Instagram, and a lot more just kind of like tweets lately too, just what I think about this or that. A lot of things that just aren't really about music.
If social media didn't exist tomorrow, how would you be promoting your music?
Oh,
No more Twitch.
no more Twitch?
No more, like, how would you switch it all back up?
Take my CDs to Venice Boulevard.
Oh my gosh. Classic. Would you go
Venice
back?
Boulevard,
Would you do any
Venice
busking?
Beach.
Would you kind of like return to a super nomadic style?
You know what? That would be awesome, actually.
And I'm talking no social media.
Well, it would be weird not
Nowhere
to
to
be able
post.
to stream it though. But I guess that's all right.
This question has been wild this season. But I think for me, I think of this all the time.
Yeah.
Like, what happens when that community literally evaporates and you gotta, maybe some of them would come find you in the real world, but I'm talking like, what would you do to kind of build back from the ground up?
Well, I guess, that's what there's live gigs. And
Yeah.
live gigs, I mean, promoting them would be harder. Definitely.
Flyers. Lots of
flyers.
Billboards.
People are doing the phone number again. Call me, text me.
Have you set one of those up?
I haven't, but I've been wanting to.
I'm just like, what in the world are we going to get texted? Like, it sounds good in practice, but yeah, God, I think about that all the time, of if it was just gone tomorrow, especially for musicians who have adapted so quickly, or creatives who've built small businesses that eventually they could sell products, like, and it was just gone.
Well, you know what? If you think about it, when the pandemic hit, a lot of like the world as we knew it as musicians was
Yes.
kind of just gone. And,
Yep.
here we are. So I think we're just really adaptable, and I think we would find a way. And if that means, we show up for a gig and we have to call people and we have to tell them, oh my God, I hate calling people.
Call each of them ahead of time.
Yes.
Are you going to come to my show?
Exactly. I mean, I guess we would probably have more free time, because we wouldn't be doom scrolling for 3 hours a day.
The existential crisis of this question, I swear.
I don't know.
I wanted to ask you if there was ever a time where you really considered giving up music and walking away, and what brought you back to it?
Definitely there was. I mean, it's not for the weak, you know. It's not for the weak.
No.
But I would say that I think the times when I thought, what else can I do? I always found that there wasn't anything else that I can do. Does that make sense? Like,
Of
I was like,
course.
this is all I want to do, and this is what I'm qualified to do. So why would I go
There was no other path.
do something else?
No other path. And it brings you right back. Did you ever step away and like was it a job, like you stepped into a job and had that realization? Is that sort of how it happens?
You mean just with other things?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've tried other things, or of course, like a lot of creatives, we have tons of things to supplement, you know, our income, and some of us have 18 jobs, you know. So you do get to try different things, and you just know. You just
Dree's
know.
like, it's great. I love doing 18
Yeah, you know it's rewarding, you know it's fulfilling. So I just don't think I got the same spark from the other things I tried. But it doesn't mean that I didn't need them or that they didn't help me and that I didn't, you know, help the person I was working for.
It's a paycheck. It's a paycheck job.
You know.
So I wanted to also ask you, when it comes to budgeting as an independent artist, how do you figure out what to prioritize when dealing with a budget?
And do you mean like in life in general, or like for projects?
Mostly for the ambitions that you have with your art. So I think we're okay, Petra. It's okay if it's over me because I chop most of my boring ramble out anyway. But let me reframe it. Okay, so how do you prioritize where to spend your budget as an independent artist? And I'm kind of framing it as the projects that you want to do with your art.
For sure. So there's creating new music, creating new content. There's, you know, improving your craft. There's upgrading your gear. There's, you know, those are, I think, the things that circle around at the top of the list. And that's a lot. So, you know, it's, you know, basically take care of yourself, of course. And if, you know, if you're feeling good, you're feeling whole, then I think those things, then you go to those things. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't work that way, but in an ideal world, yeah. So I would just say, like, I'm a rambler, sorry. I would say definitely prioritizing creating new content.
Yep.
And music, because that's what your community and your fans want, and that's, you know, obviously all of us artists want that. We want to put out that stuff and we want to feel that feeling again, and we want to share. So that's I think that's primarily where I would start.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
I don't know.
Dree's like, the eyes she gives me are like, question mark? And I'm like, yes, Dree, you share your wonderful wisdom with the world.
I know. I'm like, the budget part though.
Well, I think the thing too about budgeting is it seems like the scariest part. So for an independent artist, I think it's always that question of, okay, what do I jump into first? But I also think you were making a really great point about before you can, you know, with such the stress of doing it by yourself, before you can do something amazing, is everything okay in your actual, the checks and balances of your life? Because it's taxing to be doing all of these things by yourself.
Yes, it really is. It really is. And so, yeah, you want to make sure, like, you know, you're in a good place. I know that a lot of us songwriters write like the best songs when we're just like super sad and depressed and stressed out. But, you know, it's not the only way.
It's not the only way, but it does make for some damn good music.
Yeah, you know, that breakup sucked, but dang, I got a whole album out of it.
Dree, I'm so happy to have had you on this podcast today. I want to ask, what's coming up next for Dree Mon?
So I am...
Yeah. We'll have to go from the top because I think that was all over that. Okay. Dree Mon, you've been on the Buy My Merch podcast officially. I want to ask before we go, what is coming up for you next?
So I'm working on some new music. I've been spending my time writing a lot, And so I'm really excited to get in the studio soon and record some new stuff.
Whee! Well, you can check Dree out on all of her socials, which I will be linking. And just thank you for hanging out.
Thank you so much. This was awesome.
Hey everybody, Marilyn here. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Buy My Merch podcast. Did you know that you can book a one-on-one session with me to help plan your next big music industry move? Heads on TV's Sessions program positions me as your in-between manager. You know, because you're not quite ready for a full-time manager yet, but you are looking for someone you can regularly bounce ideas off of. Together, we'll work on things like release strategies, TikTok ideas, and, of course, building out your artist universe. And our first session together is always free. You can learn more about these sessions, including pricing and even my credentials in the music industry, at headson.tv/sessions. That's headson.tv/sessions.